About a month ago, I released a video saying the shit state of gaming in 2023, and it's been a couple of months since then, and I'm mellow. I mean, there's still a lot of shit going on in the state of gaming, especially when it comes to marketing taking command of development, especially games like Diablo 4 and, well, others. And quite frankly, I don't think we're in that bad of a state. Like, this has been a ridiculously decent year in gaming. I don't think there's been a year that's released as many bangers as this year. So I want to talk about some of them and how good this year has been. I want to be uplifting a little bit, you know? So, got to talk about some good games that came out this year. Starting from the top, we have Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom came out. It was a fantastic game. It was a great follow-up to Breath of the Wild, you know. If you hadn't played Breath of the Wild in 7 years and you felt like playing Breath of the Wild again, Tears of the Kingdom was a perfect game for that. Now, a lot of these good games have niche audiences, and this is definitely one of them, although it was a very big hit. And then we have Dead Space Remake, definitely a niche game, you know. A lot of people are going, why would I play the remake when I can just, up-res the PC version? That's how I used to play that game. And then remake came out, and apparently it was pretty good. It had some bad things here and there, such as destroying the character of Isaac Clarke. And they destroyed his character a little bit by giving him a voice, which was a shame, but, it led to some interesting dialogue choices, should there be silent protagonists in this day and age? And quite frankly, we probably shouldn't have silent protagonists because they are a little bit of a crutch, so to speak. We've come a long way in writing. We should be able to have characters that can talk in first and third person, and Dead Space Remake proves that a silent protagonist can be a talking protagonist. And then we have Street Fighter 6. Now, this is definitely a niche game, but for Street Fighter fans, this game has been a breath of fresh air for them. It also has some modern controls so that, normies can actually attempt to play the game without getting beaten down like a dead rabbit by all the killers out there. But, Street Fighter also has its issues, and, it's still a game that's great that came out this year. And we got Hogwarts Legacy, even with all the backlash and the people going, no, you shouldn't buy this game because of XYZ. Absolutely stupid. It was still a good game that came out this year. We have Pikmin 4 just came out recently, and it is a very niche game, but people love it and it's great. It's a little bit restrained by the Switch's capabilities, much like Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. We then move on to Hi-Fi Rush, that indie darling that should be Game of the Year this year in my mind, but it has a lot to contend with, such as Remnant 2, System Shock Remake, Atomic Heart. Well, Atomic Heart was kind of shit at the end, but, it had a lot of heart to it. Dead Island 2, while it was, an absolutely flawed game from a game design aspect, it was very, enjoyable to go back to that sort of gameplay. It was like going backwards in time, 10 years in time, going, this is how we used to make games. This is how we make games today. And it's still, it merits its approval because compared to Dying Light 2, which came out at the end of last year, it absolutely dominates it in fun and just enjoyment. We had Metroid Prime Remaster, which is great, and we got other indie darlings such as Pizza Tower and Only Up. Now, these were very niche, but a lot of people love them, especially Only Up from the speedrunning community, and Pizza Tower from, just being zany in all of its ways. And very recently, we had Axomic Verge 2. Now, I haven't played this 2-game version of it yet, because it came out literally a couple of days ago for me. And I played the first game about 3 years ago, and it was fantastic. And I knew they were coming out for the second game. And it being out in this year of all these bangers coming out just when Baldur's Gate 3, which brings us to our next game, was coming out, is absolutely insane. This year we are eating so good. And we're just barely past the halfway mark. We got so many great games coming up. Now let's have a look at some of the bad games we've had this year. We've had Redfall, absolutely dreadful. We have Diablo 4, wow, it's not absolutely dreadful, but it's being absolutely butchered by the marketing department and just developers that refuse to stand up for what's right. When it comes to development, you're in charge, not the marketing department. If you don't like what they have to say no, get fired, make your own studio, and make good games. Wild Hearts came out this year. It was a really terrible Monster Hunter clone, but at least they were trying. Forspoken came out this year. We all know how that went. Star Wars Jedi Survivor, while it came out and was absolutely appalling on PC and consoles performance-wise, it's since stabilized enough that it's playable, and overall I think this could be a great game in 2 to 3 years' time once, performance is fixed by computers just absolutely obliterating all of the problems that the game has. And then of course there's Gollum. Now when this game came out, I sort of defended it because, it was a small indie studio that had never done a 3D game before in their life. However, I've seen the gameplay since, and quite frankly, they should be ashamed. And, well, the studio that made that game has shut down its development arm. It is now just a publisher. So, the system works. Bad games equal punished. Then there are, of course, the games that are on the fence that, some people kind of like, some people really don't like. Company of Heroes 3 is one of these, for instance. It is a really decent sequel to Company of Heroes, but quite frankly, compared to Company of Heroes 2 and Company of Heroes 1, has a lot of shortcomings. And a lot of the veterans of the game, who are the people who are going to buy this game, kind of want to avoid it like the plague, because it just doesn't have the same greatness that Company of Heroes 2 had. We had Power Wash Simulator came out at the start of this year. Absolutely banger of a game for just wasting time, and they add multiplayer to it for God knows reason, but I put it here, it's on the list. And we have Wo Long Fallen Dynasty. Now I personally hate this game. It's absolutely terrible to my standards, and when I was first playing it, it had not great PC performance standards either, much like a lot of the other games out there, because Unreal Engine. Now a lot of these good games I talked about don't use Unreal Engine, or they use it in a much better way. Final Fantasy 16 doesn't use Unreal Engine. Street Fighter 6, the RE Engine. Resident Evil 4 Remake. I didn't even talk about Resident Evil 4 Remake, or did I? It uses the RE Engine. Fantastic. And then we have Pikmin 4, which I believe uses Unreal Engine, but it's on the Switch, so it's hard to tell if its performance is good or not. Hi-Fi Rush, I don't believe uses Unreal Engine. It could. I don't know. We got System Shock Remake, which does use Unreal Engine, and it has some performance issues, but it has a lot of other issues that are causing these issues. So we clearly see that there are other engines out there and they are working, especially when we look at games like Baldur's Gate 3. This doesn't use Unreal Engine and it performs fantastically right up until you get up to the Baldur's Gate itself, and then performance absolutely tanks because there's over hundreds of NPCs on the screen, all shouting out random voice lines, walking in specific patterns, each having their own interactive pathway that you can interrupt and communicate with and disrupt and kill, and it creates a cascade of events that leads to absolute mania. Baldur's Gate 3, quite frankly, probably should win Game of the Year this year. It is above and beyond with its choices to not have a battle pass, to just be the whole game, no DLC, no bullshit, just like, here it is. And guess what else did that? Final Fantasy 16. They just released the whole dang thing and went, yep, it's sticker price. You either take it or you leave it. It's up to you. And guess what? Like I said earlier, we're only like halfway through the year. We got heaps of bangers coming up. We got Starfield coming really soon. We got Spider-Man 2 coming really soon. We got Warhammer Space Marine 2 coming really soon. We got Alan Wake 2 coming really soon. We have a Alone in the Dark remake coming, which I did not ever expect to ever happen, but it's happening. And we have Armored Core 6, which is just going to decimate everything. And I'm excited for it. Starfield, of course, and just Forza Motorsports. Now, I know a lot of you guys are sleeper on car games, but I don't blame you. But Forza Motorsport is the premier car game out of all of the car games. Even Gran Turismo pales in comparison to Forza Motorsport. So, we're eating good this year. And of course, at the very end, we've got that Avatar video game coming out. I have absolutely no idea if that's going to be good or not, because with Ubisoft, everything's hit or miss. And I'm pretty sure they want this game to be good. So I expect it to be good. Reason why they want it to be good, they've had so much bad press for like the past 4 years with sexual allegations, abuse, and all the rest. But this game, it could turn the tide for them. Just like Diablo 4 could turn the tide for Blizzard. But they fucked it up. So Ubisoft, you better not fuck up that Avatar game, because your reputation lives or dies on that game. That new Star Wars game that's coming out, hey, it could be good, but if this Avatar game is good, no one's going to buy that Star Wars game, which everyone's kind of on the fence about anyway. Yeah, so that's about the state of gaming in 2023. We are eating so fucking good. This is my text document, which has all of the games I talked about here. Check them out. Do whatever. I'll see you guys in the next one. G'day. Goodbye. Have a good one.